For you. Pleasure.
All right. Well, so far it looks like there's just us three. So ask away. Like, what do you got going on there, Georgia?
Yeah. Pleasure.
Oh, just a general level of madness, I think. End of school holidays. So trying to make up for the 2 weeks worth of work that I didn't get done.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I got the I woke up today. I thought it was Friday, and it was Tuesday. So
Yeah.
it's been a long week already.
That's
Same here.
pretty much here as
Lots of
well.
meetings, lots of Zooms.
Um, but yeah, no, look, I'm in the process of getting 2 new products launched.
Nice.
So finally going live with, our version of the Review Genius system. Um,
Cool.
and just ordering some cards and plinths and various bits and pieces.
Yeah,
Um,
I need to order a new card, like another batch of cards myself, but I'm gonna have to find somebody not in the US to be able to get the order and then mail it to me because of the tariffs. So
well, I'm happy to help if you want.
I think I got a buddy in Vietnam that'd be able to ship it. So
All right.
that should work too. But yeah, I think it
Um,
might just, I think what are you in New Zealand or Australia?
I'm Aussie.
Okay, so yeah, it might cost just as much to ship it from there, I think. So you'd have to send it like DHL or something. So
You never quite know. But no, I used to be able to send stuff to the US back when I had a e-commerce business. That wasn't too bad,
mhm.
but I have to say it's been about 5 years, so couldn't tell you. But yeah, so placing orders, we've done all our designs to try and make things look a little different, stand out a little bit, all of that kind of jazz. Um, and then just working on the back end execution of another project right now. So we've got the product done, but trying to now do the UX and making sure that all the automations and stuff are working on that. So
Cool.
um, stupidly trying to launch, 3 things at once.
Fantastic. Well, gotta have something going on, right? So
Of course. Of
yeah,
course. Never rains at pours.
exactly.
Um, but I've also been doing some of Dar's stuff around his AI SaaS, and your name keeps coming up for some of the bits and pieces that you've built for him. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
have to give you
we've worked.
kudos that you're being mentioned.
Well, we worked together on a few things, like on our first snapshot, like the AI or the easy, like I think he called it like local wins, and I called it easy wins. But both worked on that, and I think we kind of realized that we were looking at each other's stuff and like, wow, we've built almost exactly the same thing. So let's just collaborate and mash them together. So I think he's gone a different way a little bit with his AI stuff. We're still working on ours. Mike's gone on board to help us knock the rest of that out and, help us with some of our workflows and stuff. So then we're going to be releasing that here pretty soon. But yeah, it's been a long time coming, but yeah, we've had so many other projects. It's been ridiculous. So yeah, but
It's just like
yeah.
anything, right, Pat? Like when you're in this type of thing, it's like everybody else's stuff gets done first and then your stuff is last.
Yeah, contractor never
100%.
works on his own house.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Michael, to just
Yes.
to absolutely make that point, so I've run this agency for 5 years, and we still don't have a website.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's
So
time. I think it's time for that.
that's the third thing that's launching right now. But literally, 5 years without our own website, just
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
fully booked, word
Yeah.
of mouth, all of that. But it's like, come on, like this is beyond a joke now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Nice.
hear you.
What's up, Mr. Higgins?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. What's happening?
Not much. Working on some AI prompts. That's about it.
You working on AI
Knowledge-based stuff.
prompts? Do what?
No, just uploading some custom prompts into HighLevel.
Oh, okay.
So, yep.
Very nice.
Yep.
Very nice. Cool,
Done
cool,
that.
cool.
Just been oh, and they ended up page ended up canceling the subscription that it did not need, and applying the credit to the
Well, there you go.
subscription I
Yeah,
did need. So
I
I was
told
like,
you
I
we
don't
were.
want a refund. Like, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I just move the credit, like credit my
So
account on the other
they got you
subscription.
handled.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're pretty responsive. So they have some pretty darn good support. So
Yep.
yep,
Yeah, it was good.
very nice,
So,
excelente. So you got your profile all hooked up.
yeah. Yep. So
Cool.
we'll see how big of a difference it actually makes. I was surprised at how so everything it generated for like services and everything, I just copied all that into Yext. So basically everything that it's coming up with, and I've got it doing social media posts. I uploaded several hundred photos and videos and um, everything, and I had it set to the suggested, and it was like, thanks for all the videos and photos. You'll run out of we'll upload these at whatever schedule, and you'll run out of content in 2000 something weeks. And I was like, holy, I guess I uploaded a lot.
I think you're going to be okay.
So I changed it to where it's posting every day. I was like, screw it. There's enough in there that it can put an image up every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So it's the only thing it seems to have confused was it's trying to combine my services. It's trying to combine my product with my service, um, which is kind of weird, but it's fine. It's not a big. It's just in the content that it's generating. It's trying to tie the virtual assistants in with the actual CRM. So I have to modify each time it mentions it. But other than that, not too bad. We'll see.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll do a good job for you. It seems to do fairly well. It does okay for like it does great for like local business, like brick and mortars and the HVAC and home services and things like that. I think for agencies it's going to take a little more work just because they're odd keywords that people are searching for. So
yeah, and I ended up as far as locale, I ended up doing what did I do? Oh, I did Nashville, Austin, Miami, and Atlanta. Those, were kind of hubs. Um, so
very cool.
yep. So yeah.
Nice. Steve, what's up? Steve. I know you're online. I can see your
He
mic.
might be eating something.
Maybe. All right. Haji, what's up?
I'm here to celebrate a win.
Fantastic.
Okay. Pat and the log they're gonna be doing some GSL training. Pat and the log are in the lineup to do some GSL training.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
gonna be
let's see
on
what you got.
That's my win.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I got you now.
So,
Yeah.
so what are you
talking
guys?
about that, let's just.
What are you guys gonna be teaching? Is it gonna be Review Genius or
We're not
it's
pitching.
something else?
No, we're not.
We're not pitching.
anything.
We're training.
Just yeah. So we work like we do a lot of beta testing, like Mike does, and myself and Locke and like Jeff Manick and those guys. They all do beta testing for all the AI stuff. So we're going to be just kind of going over some of the basics of just like the inner workings of the high level review stuff. So they're new review agents, and setting up the QR codes to go to review like review sites and things like that. So kind of just the basics, kind of like what we teach with Review Genius, except without Review Genius. So
So we're not
Great.
going to pitch, so it won't be a direct pitch fest. The goal is to highlight what HighLevel can do and what are the capabilities of HighLevel as a software, and what solutions you can build with the tools provided by HighLevel for your clients, and how you can go deep into HighLevel. Basically, it's a HighLevel's coaching session, so we're not pitching our products in there. We might welcome people to join our community. Again, we're still thinking what we're going to do. Like, I'm still working on the slides and all that. So but yeah, there's no direct pitches or anything. It's just open training on a subject and Q&As about the subject.
And when exactly is the training?
Our
Tomorrow
time
night.
is tomorrow
At 8,
same
8
time.
Eastern.
Yeah.
8
Yep.
Eastern.
Yeah, same time.
Okay.
I mean, the
So
trainings have started, I guess, already.
yes, it
By
started. So
others.
you got today was Hey Levi, I believe.
Yeah,
And so tomorrow it's
yeah,
gonna be you guys.
correct. So we are the only one who are covering the evenings to cover other areas, because every other training is in the mornings, which is not a good thing for Australians, UK, and all that other countries. So that's why we wanted to do a different time zone so we can cover other time zones as well, because there are so many people out there.
I'll be watching.
There's
Yeah.
at least a dozen people outside the U.S. already.
So Pat, you just mentioned
Oh my God.
Pat, you just mentioned review agents.
Yeah.
Is that different from when you say review agent, you talking about having the capability to optimize people to leave Yelp reviews and
No,
all the other places?
it's basically being able to prompt the response, the AI response, because before HighLevel's AI response was honestly it was garbage. So now they've got it so that you can actually prompt it to answer the way you want. And they have some pre-built stuff, and then you can drop in your own prompt. And so now it should work a lot better than what was there before. So instead of us having to use Pably, now you can I'm still going to use Pably to
Yeah.
post to socials because you can't prompt the social posting of the reviews, but now you can have the system answer the reviews with a much better prompt inside HighLevel. So like the more we can get to where we don't use third party services, the better. That like I'm happier that way because I want to keep it. Like I want to stay on platform as much as I can, basically.
Yep.
So
Right. Okay. Nice.
Yeah, show up on the call, man. It would be good to have others ask questions, and yeah, bring your questions as well.
Sure.
Yep. Yeah, Charles, we're
Yeah.
gonna be on I think Wednesdays for I don't know what is it, how many weeks?
I think it's 9 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. So we're gonna have to come up with 9 different topics. So tomorrow we're starting with reviews.
I'll just drop the link in the chats if anyone wants to join. There we go.
I've
Just
already I've already registered with that.
Yep. Awesome. I guess Stacy has a hand raised. Stacy, what's up?
Guys, since we're gonna go with like the AI version or the response for the review agent, because like you've got the OG team here too. Like, okay, are you gonna release then like a new version of this?
Nope. You're cutting out.
We can't hear you.
Now you're on. Bring that microphone up.
Okay. Are you gonna be issuing out a new version of the snapshot then that would include the prompt, and does that carry over?
So in regards to the Review Genius system, we're not going to make any changes until we perfect this. So again, this is a new feature from HighLevel. We're going to keep testing it until we think it's performing better than what we have currently. If it reaches that level, only then we'll make any changes. Oh, I hear myself. We're not going to make any changes until we perfect. I'm going to mute you, Mike. I guess it's echo coming back. Did you get that, Stacy?
Yeah, yeah. And then, ultimately what would be really cool is to actually be able to, if we're gonna like migrate this all in-house in terms of in the whole GHL platform, is to be able to have a form then, not only the connection from like the Admatic, but then also then lead the person to the form to fill out like custom fields for those like SEO, keywords that normally we fill in a lot of that stuff that's pretty simple.
Yeah.
That they can sort of almost like self-populate.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal, right? I mean, ideally, we want to bring everything in-house on GHL and avoid every other third-party integrations we've got. But yeah, there are limitations currently. So we're working with the team. Hopefully, they catch up.
Right, and then the other thing is I know that the 4 and 5 star reviews, because we're also the social post, the content's actually going on top of that, which is like really cool. And I think that there's still the limitation right now that HighLevel does
Correct.
not allow that feature
No.
to happen, right?
Yep.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, there's part of me that's like, yeah, it's really cool, but then the other part of me is like, screw you guys, like, we've got something that, they don't have,
Right.
Yeah.
and I'm sorry to be a little selfish about that, but yeah, like, yeah, so it'll be
Well,
interesting.
that's the USP with Review Genius system, right? I mean, every other agency out there is selling high-level review features and all that, which is awesome. I mean, don't get me wrong, but how would you differentiate, right? I mean, there are few things which we do different in Review Genius, which are not currently possible in HighLevel. So that's the USP.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that that's what makes it really, really unique too. And
Mhm.
I mean, I guess there's always that thing that, there's so much that HighLevel does, and you can just grab out one little portion of it and
Yeah.
spin that and just have that be your focus, in terms of a
Exactly.
door opener, no matter which way you steer it. But,
Yeah.
if I'm sitting here, I'm like talking with like, one of my friends, he puts product in Walmart and Target and all this kind of stuff. So you get it into something that's scalable like that, and you may be able to do something pretty insane if like, especially if they can self-populate. That
Yeah.
form. You know what I'm talking about, Pat.
Yeah.
Don't worry, my brother. If I get us into Target or some shit, I'm taking you with me.
Um,
I'm
hey,
dragging you.
hey, Pat.
Yeah.
Funny story, right? I'm at a networking event and I reach out to this lady to scan her business card into my lead connector so I can automatically add her to a workflow and it just kick up my follow process. She said, this looks very familiar. Is this Activation Hub? I'm like, what's that? She said, it looks just like this. I mean, the whole setup is the same.
Activation Hub.
Yeah, well, it's somebody's white label version of GSL.
Gotcha.
Apparently, she called it Activation Hub. So I was like, well, maybe it is. How much are you getting charged for it? She goes, my cousin hooked me up. I'm only paying $50. I'm like, $50 for the whole thing? She said, yes. I'm like, man, that's quite a hookup. Because if you're using text messages, you're sending emails and all that, I could just eat up that $50. But anyway, yeah.
Maybe she's getting rebilled for it.
Yeah. It's interesting. And one of the reasons why this is interesting is because Review Genius with the card differentiates GSL from everybody else because oftentimes we'll tell them, yes, this is GSL, but we've coded our own motivate changes to solve very specific problems.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that's how I say it,
Yep.
right? Because everybody knows about these are people that I would never think knows about GSL, and everybody knows about GSL now. I mean, there's no need to even do white label anymore.
So there's no hiding from GHL anymore
No, there's
because
no hiding from
GHL is the second most used CRM now. So I mean, there's no way you can hide it. It's being used by some majority of the businesses already. Um, it's just in some form. Either it's directly through GHL or white label agencies selling it to those businesses. So it's no hiding. I mean, it's time where you leverage that credibility. Yes, it is GHL, and yeah, we build our system on GHL because it's the best platform out there. It gives us all the tools for me as Haji or Stacy to build what I know and build a system for you, which you could leverage Review Genius. We'll just talk about that example. So we build a system on GHL which does this for your reputation management. So don't try to, if anyone is listening to this, don't try to hide that it is not GHL. I mean, in fact, you should lean on that now because it's
Yeah.
more than $1 billion company. It's not a company started,
I
1 year
always
ago.
I always
Like
tell
it's
everybody like
crazy,
I,
the
I
growth.
white label HighLevel, and it's
Yeah,
I build my own thing on it that's going to do XYZ for your business.
yeah.
So
There
they
you
go,
go,
oh, okay.
Charles
And I go,
Show.
it's and if you don't know what HighLevel is, it's they're bigger than HubSpot. So
Yeah,
they go,
look at
oh
Charles's
wow, okay.
logo. He just featured it, powered by HighLevel. That is the model we need to take now. And it's not so white label was for the first 3 or 4 years was a new thing, was a thing. Like, hey, we white label. This is a tool we built or whatever. White label, forget white label now. Just call it powered by HighLevel. That's the new thing we need to consider. So
Yeah.
yeah, Charles already worked on the branding. Good logo, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we're doing a whole I mean, we're going all in on it. So
You have to. I mean,
yeah, I mean, we're in the process of starting to build out our new website. It's because now there's still the differentiator of the agency. So
mm,
yes, it's all built on HighLevel, but my agency is going to operate totally different than someone else's, and how you
yeah,
market your agency, and and so we're taking the approach of not only how can we compete online with other agencies, but also how can we compete with direct comparisons like HubSpot and Zoho and
yeah,
Salesforce, and putting out more information that's consumer friendly or ideal audience friendly. So if a executive or business owner is researching that, they can see real information about the platform. And so like our website deployment, we've got it phased out. It'll run about 20 to 24 weeks until we're fully done with the website for the most part. And it's going to be over 300 pages. So
wow,
it's going to have industry guides. It's going to have all the features and tools broken out, explained, animations, screenshots. We're going to have a video library and knowledge base built into our website, um, because moving forward, I mean, that's where if you're going to scale big, that's where you've got to be,
yeah,
because you're going to be competing against HubSpot and the other high level agencies. And if I'm looking at two different high level agencies and one's got some, dinky little templated website versus one that's like, holy crap, they got more information on this platform than the actual provider. Which one are you going to go with?
That's
Which one looks more legit? Which one looks like they have more resources and systems and processes set up? So,
and even
you
if
know,
you're not adding any of your USP, it's just if the packaging is good, it
yeah,
just means it's more valuable, right? So
yep,
it's all how you show up, right? So that I think I heard from Russell Bunson. Um he sold same thing like a ebook. The value in ebook is worth $5. The value in a CD is worth 15 or whatever. There's a whole analogy. He goes on and on about that. But he's like, okay, how about I just package this whole thing in a big box and then label it in a way and brand it and all that stuff. It becomes like a $500 product. Exactly the
yep,
same thing. It's just
it
packaged
is.
differently, how it shows up.
Well,
So
and it's,
yeah,
I mean, like I shared in the last call, we got our first client through Gemini being a
yeah,
referenced source, and as they were
correct.
doing research. And so, I mean, that's where SEO is going. We're not concerned
Yeah.
about humans consuming all that information on our website. Sure, some of it will be focused to the human. Most of it's focused to the AI,
Yeah, it's the
because
AEO world, it's not the SEO.
that's how people are finding things now.
Yeah.
You know, and so I really don't care if humans use 2% of the website. That's not
Mhm.
why we're doing it. We're doing it
Yeah.
so no matter what they query, we have a chance of showing up.
Yeah.
You know, and that's not even including blog posts. So that, I mean, that's just static pages that are going to continue to get more and more traffic, you know, enhanced media, video libraries, knowledge bases. I mean, because there's things that you can put into there that you can't put on a sales page or a feature page. It just doesn't make any sense. It's too technical.
Yeah.
But if your knowledge base is built into your website, well, now you have a legitimate reason of putting it on your website and driving more traffic back to your website through a technical document because they asked about how do you integrate this with a CRM, and maybe it pulls one of our knowledge base articles. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Awesome. Super
it's a
awesome.
big project, but I think it's where, like, uh, if you're playing for the long game, I mean, it's better to start now, even if, you know, 24 weeks is a hell of a long time to build a website. But it's a lot of content. And so it's like, do we need it right now? No, not necessarily, but within the next year or two, we will. And I'd rather go ahead and start working on it now and have that road in front of me, that runway, and be able to then say, oh, crap, I wish I would have started this 6 months ago. Like everybody's way ahead of me now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. It's again, just like it's funny you said that thing. So the website is not for users who land on the website, it's for the AI or search engines to pick up what your website
Mm-hmm.
is. Because if someone's searching for it, your website needs to show up. Same thing we say for reviews. Generating reviews is not for other consumers. I mean, obviously they're gonna judge you based on that, but we want Google to know, like, and trust you, because that's the best way to do it, by getting more reviews. And AEO world, right? So that's exactly what you said. Gemini recommended your website. We must be searching and comparing you with Zoho. I know you said it's an
Yeah.
Indian company or whatever. Must be
Yeah, they were
comparing with
looking
Zoho
for,
and HubSpot and all those companies, right? So it's funny you're landing up there in the same
mm-hmm.
search, and
Yeah,
you got a
well,
client.
and it was a migration page. So we
Yeah.
have migration pages on our current website where it's like, okay,
Hmm.
if you're coming from this platform, here's everything you need to do to prep in order to come into our platform. And that's like, it's
Yeah.
not a navigation, it's just in a, you know, page that you'll never find unless you find it in search. Or
Yeah.
we send you a direct link, but it gets scraped. I mean, it's added to its inner sitemap, it gets scraped by
Yeah.
Google, and I mean, you know, they were searching, they already had a CRM, they already had a conversation AI platform. The two just didn't talk to each other. And so
Yeah.
they were researching through Gemini different AI powered CRMs. And that's where they inevitably found us, booked the demo, and bought. So,
Yeah. So SEO is evolving. It's becoming AEO now. So everyone better buckle up and,
yeah.
fix what you guys are doing. It's answer engine optimization, not just search engine. So,
Yeah.
all right, Stacey, you got your hand raised.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to like go like outside sales direction instead of just like the sort of dependence upon being found online too, and don't discount going out. I mean, that's really like, you know, this kind of like the spirit of what had really attracted me to this whole endeavor with you guys was just the wanting to be like a local hero. And so
Yeah.
that, you know, and I've been spending a lot of time going out into the community and building those relationships, and those are more likely to stick and less likely to cancel, and they're also like willing to like go in and purchase additional products than somebody that's not really known, you know. So, you know, I do agree, yes, you do have to like, you know, everybody's going to have a hammer, but yet at the same time there's only a few that you're going to trust to build your house. you know. And so, and for those that have been with HighLevel for a long time, to be able to market their skills appropriately and be knowledgeable in terms of what it all does, from a consulting basis, definitely. One of the things that I thought, I got some of my clients like reaching out and wanting like me to do some just like sort of like lower level graphic design stuff. And I know that like just a way to kind of like warm up or just like stay in front of your clients is like just, create a little coupon, and include it in a link to that coupon in your automated review response. Okay. And so, and my clients were like, well, then everybody's going to get the coupon. Who gives a rip? If that means that more people are coming into your business, because they've got this coupon because they were reading review response, what a great way to sort of add additional value. Or even adding another link to that second part that Pat developed, which was that lead gathering portion. You
Yeah.
know that one? Okay, because most of the time you're like trying to gather the review and get the review. Well, then after the review, like Pat has built in there. So I'm mentioning this, Pat, to you because you're writing these prompts that are going to sit within HighLevel to
Yeah.
include something that could be like sort of like either an image placeholder for a coupon, or a secondary link to fill out like sort of a VIP, fill in your information to receive future, sort of promotional deals or something like that, to use that platform a little bit more because, you're kind of like able to leverage if you follow the whole like review thing out. We're also piggybacking off of what Google naturally does for the business owner as well, because Google will actually reach out to the customer and say, hey, remember that nail salon that you went to 6 months ago? You know, so it's like, we're able to really help them. And there's a lot of businesses that are either seasonal. Those are really, a lot of these brick and mortars are seasonal businesses, and some of them are going to their down season, some of them are going to their peak season. No matter which season that they're in, everybody loves a coupon. So that was
Yeah.
just my sort of 2 cents in terms of just like maybe thinking about just different ways to get in front of your existing client base, and like even just to kind of like prove your value so that they don't leave, so that they kind of see that there's that additional value add. Okay. And that was just something that it took me little to no time. I mean, everybody knows Canva like inside and out, and you've got all the logos and you've got all the everything else, so yeah. But that was it.
Yeah.
It was
Good tip.
just more of a sort of get people sort of thinking about different ways to like leverage their existing client base.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that's the next level, right? I mean, it's really good what you're saying. But that, so one is how do you get into and get them as a client, and then second is how do you keep servicing them more and more, keep adding more value over and over so that they never leave you.
Well, it was
Um,
funny too because I plugged everything into like GPT, and this was
mm,
like so crazy. I was like, okay, I want to be an outside salesperson. When's my best time to go to these types of places and whatever, and what days of the week? And literally, like, it came back, with the times of the day, the days of the week. And then I go out to the street, and what ends up happening, the people that I'm coming into, they're like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, the owner's usually here between 10 and 10 and 11:30, and then 2 and 4, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the same thing that GPT
yeah,
told me. I was like, you've got to be freaking kidding
it's
me.
isn't
So
it
it's
funny how
like,
predictable humans are?
it is. It was like, it was crazy. And I was just like, okay, so, I gotta like kind of get off my big duff every now and then anyway, instead of sitting here, behind my computer. So maybe if I just do this, like going out into sort of like a radius, and then go, okay, well, then this is the community that I hit on Tuesday. This one's on Wednesday. This one's on Thursday. And also just, one of the things that I came across is just sort of getting people's wheels churning in terms of just getting out there. I mean, I wear my branded polo shirt. I've got my lanyard that's all branded. I got like my cute little summer skirts that go with it, a pair of flip flops, and I am out the door. I don't even try to think about it.
Same.
And yeah, exactly. I know you look great in that skirt. I saw it, Pat, on Facebook. It was amazing. But yeah, so I just go out there and just start talking to people. And there was one I looked up on one of the light poles, and they had like these big banners, and it was like talking about driving business into this community. And so don't forget about like sort of your town hall meetings, like the city hall, like those kind of areas and they're literally have like an RFP out for marketing for the actual town. Okay. They're looking for somebody that's going to do this. Well, I'm not saying that you necessarily have to apply for the RFP, but you can certainly say, hey, do you need a guest speaker? Because oftentimes they do, and go in there and talk to an audience of, chances are the people that are showing up there are business owners. So don't not pass that up, because, he with the, Mike is the person that knows the most. So be that
Yeah.
person. Yeah, so I stumbled into that, and I'm like really excited about that. But I'm just trying to get people to sort of like, because we can so easily like get stuck in there's so many shiny objects. I am guilty of it. I have been building my websites, and I like the woman that was at the beginning of the call, I decided that I was rolling all of them out at once. I went on that, where I met you guys, and I have been building every single line out, and it's just, and you can really get stuck. But yeah, people appreciate seeing you, and I think that as AI is more and more out there and people are seeing, they're gonna appreciate that human touch even
The
more.
the value of humans is going to go up with AI.
It's gonna go up,
The
way
human
up,
conversations,
way
yeah,
up,
real
way up.
conversations are going to grow.
Real conversations. And
Yeah.
I'm kind of looking at the audience here today, and I'm going to say this as well. We are probably one of the last generations where we actually really knew how to engage with people on a one-on-one basis and talked with each other and had friends, and we rode bikes and we got dirty. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like we've got, we're this like kind of in between area, and I think that there's a real an untapped potential that we're all just kind of like sitting on, and we need to leverage that a little bit more. So peace.
Well said.
I'm dropping the mic. I got a mic. Does it sound good?
Nice.
It sounds better
Yeah,
now.
it sounds good now. Yeah.
Does it
Bring
sound
that
good
closer.
now? Is
sounds
it
But
better.
don't
better?
shout on it.
It sounds
don't
good.
shout on it. That's fine. But all right. I think we have Gary in the house. Okay, but let me, before I open up for Gary. So talking about how you wear your, branded T-shirts and all that stuff, I want to shout out Alfonso. I mean, if you can look at him, this is what his brand is.
Wow.
He wears a Stars jacket with the star glasses.
Yeah.
Alfonso?
I walk locally to all the events, and they know me now.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, this
So
is
talk about Review Genius. He wears Review Genius and walks out into places.
like locally,
But-
people know me. Hey, I've seen you before. They don't know where, when, which conference, but they know me and my jacket. And
You're like the Elton John of
but
Oops.
it's by design,
Review
Stacy. So
Genius.
we've been working on this. So it's by design, right? So what you said, like you can wear your brand and T-shirt with your logos and what your company does and all that stuff. But everyone does that. How are you gonna stand out, right? So I mean, so this idea came to me. So I saw
5'9".
I'm forgetting them. Yeah. So this is exactly how you stand out, right? You wear what you're selling, literally. Like he's selling stars on Google, right? And that's all his focus is. I was like, yeah, then start wearing the stars. Like become that person who only does that. So kudos to you, man. I mean, great job on you taking action and doing that, and it's working, right? I mean, clearly rocking it.
It's amazing. People come and talk to me. I
Yeah.
go to events. Hey, nice jacket. Oh, yeah, okay. And then natural
What do
conversation.
you do?
Boom.
It just
Yeah, what do you
starts.
do?
What do you do?
I'm
Oh,
totally ripping you off.
go for it.
There's more to it, but this is just the show, right? So I mean, this is how he presents. But yeah, there's more things you can do other than this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I won't rip you off.
All right, let's hear from Gary. Gary, what's up, man? Good to see you.
Hey, glad to be here. Yeah, so I am just getting back into my agency. So I stopped doing agency work about 2 years ago, and since then I've been writing copy for clients, big ecom brands. So that's been my focus for the last 2 years. But I'm ready to get back in and relaunch my agency and reposition it, probably rebrand it, focusing more on the AI piece because I've been kind of an AI nerd for at least 2 years, probably more like 3 or 4 years. When the very first version of OpenAI stuff was out, so I've been into that for a long time. So I think I'm gonna rebrand it, and go out there and just sell the AI stuff. So the chatbot, AI voice would be maybe an upsell from that. And I'm just kind of getting back into it. And that's why I'm here, is because I want to learn from people who are already doing it and who are successful. And this is very inspiring and motivating hearing you guys talk about just getting out there and hitting the streets, because that's what works. I mean, I have no fear to go out and just knock on doors. So that's what I need to do once I get this thing cranked up again.
Cool.
Yeah,
Glad to see you
good
back
to
in
have
the
you back,
agency
man.
stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess it's perfect time to be back. There's so much happening in the space. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, just I'm still get all the emails, I'm still reading all the updates, and it blows my mind to see the advancements made in the AI part. Because I remember even just a few months ago looking at it and thinking, I don't know if I'd be comfortable using the AI voice or selling it, because there's, you know,
Mm.
a lot of delays and things like that would make it, a dead giveaway that it's not it's not that great. But I think it's come a long way, at least from some of the demos that I've seen recently.
Well, with the
Yeah,
latest updates that Mike was posted
dropped
about in the
today.
group today,
Yeah.
everything's on V2 of SynthFlow, so it's a lot better, a lot
Awesome.
better. So, yep.
That's great. Very good. One little tip well, you guys probably already know about it, but you know how people are on all the social media saying, basically they show something on in a thread, whether it's on X or on LinkedIn, and they say, I prepared this video, I did this thing, just, enter prompt below and I'll send it to you. So I thought that is the new lead. That is the modern day lead gen or lead magnet method, essentially. So you're
Mhm.
creating a prompt. I mean, you're creating something of value. You post it on social media, and it goes to a squeeze page, essentially, and then that's how you can get them into your funnel. And I thought, man, this is like, no longer do you have to pay for traffic to run, a squeeze page to a lead magnet. I mean, you
Yeah.
could just do it on social media if you got a big enough following. And it's so simple and obvious. It was like an aha moment for me this morning, because that happened to me, I think yesterday on LinkedIn. That happens always on, X or Twitter, but
Yeah.
LinkedIn, people are doing that very effectively. And I'm like, now I'm on people's mailing lists. I'm like, that's genius.
Yeah. So there's so much hype about AI that everyone wants to know what it is, or it's a new prompt. But I mean, there's so much more than just prompting with AI, right? So
Yeah.
we're in the agentic world right now. So it's agents is the next version of prompts, right? Prompts are the basics. We're talking about agents. Talking about lead magnets, I saw a video yesterday where lead magnets are evolving so much, and it's funny you mentioned that. Um, the best possible lead magnet I saw was someone reached out as a cold email. They built a functional software, literally a software. I mean, building a software or tool is like just prompting now with Lovable and all those tools. They built a functional software for a business with a particular problem and said, hey, here's the piece of software I built for you. Use it and let me know. And if you like it, I'll deploy it and make it live for your business.
Wow, that's
Like
powerful.
a software, literally a functional software they built. I mean, obviously they used AI for it, but I mean, they must have spent an hour building that software. But imagine that as a lead magnet for an enterprise business.
Yeah,
And how much is that worth?
That's incredible. In
So
fact,
lead magnets are evolving like crazy. Like everything is evolving. So
yeah, the lead magnet that I was given from, I think it was a LinkedIn post, was a software program, and
yeah,
it wasn't customized to me or anything, but it was an
yeah.
interesting
This was a
piece of
custom software for a particular industry with a particular pain point, and they built a software to solve that pain point. Like
Wow.
like, hey, you know how we're talking about in the high level world, we're talking about, hey, I saw you don't have a good looking website or whatever. I saw you don't have a website, so I built a website for you. Want to check it out? That's the offer everyone's pitching. But here, someone's literally building a real software which they can start using today.
Wow, that's
Like, it's
great.
crazy.
Yeah,
So
very cool.
yeah. All right, welcome back, man. Good to have you in the space. Keep showing up on the calls if you can. It's every week, pretty much the same time. Are you in our community? If not, feel free to join. I can drop the link if not.
Yeah, I think I am in there.
Yeah, perfect. Good to have you, bro.
Thank you.
All right, let's hear from someone else. There's a new person with an iPhone joined. I don't know who it is. But yeah, if you want to open up your mic, now it's the time.
No. All right.
Okay, let's hear from Alfonso then.
All right. So
What's
I had
happening?
I have one of the cards I gave out. They have a franchise website and everything managed by the franchise owner. Obviously she wants to get more leads and stuff. So it's a good idea to create a full website with her brand name separately from that, and because obviously I don't have access to. I will never have access to that franchise website. It's like pasadena.theirdomain.com is her website. Their ranking, everything looks good, but for leads and missed their callback and all the AI stuff.
Why do you need website?
If the franchise, if the franchise rules allow it, I can imagine.
Yeah. They don't. We already found out.
Oh, okay. Well, they don't then I kind of a moot point.
So is it a good idea just to... So I want to show her that we're getting some benefit with me giving her website, AI, missed call, text back, everything. But the thing is, it's not pointing. The Google business profile is not pointing to this new website that I'm going to create for her. It'll be pointing to the franchise. That's a dilemma.
Is he or she allowed to change the website address in the profile? Does she have access?
Yeah, she has access. She has access to the profile.
And just change the website if she's allowed.
Yeah. I mean, you're just going to have to go through the franchise rules, see if she can even have a website different than the franchise website. I mean,
they may have that locked down.
Trust me, there's going to be clauses in there around media marketing.
Yeah.
You just got to find out what the restrictions are.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because it's not... How about you just try to find out who the franchisee is and try to work out a deal like that. Go and pitch the whole franchise, man. It's going to help every single businesses, right? So the system. Know that it's going to help. There's no proving that the system helps or not. So how about you just, through that person, find out who the concerned person is. Hey, I know there are restrictions. Let me reach out to... Can you connect me to the person so that I can figure it out a way, and then deal with them directly? You may get bigger contract.
Good point.
But yeah, what Charles mentioned, like with franchise, when you sign up a franchise contract, there are clauses you need to obey. You cannot just break the rules. So make sure that person, whoever he or she, is not going against those clauses. Otherwise, the franchise license is at risk.
Last thing you want to do is be nice and do something that you think is going to help that ends up getting her a fine or losing her franchise altogether. And then you get the living daylight suit out of you.
Yeah.
That's how that will go.
Okay.
If you, just to be blunt, usually those fines are pretty darn hefty. Because so you just... She just needs to check with her franchisor, see if she can get a copy of it to you, and that way you can see exactly what you can and can't do.
Okay, perfect. That's
Yep.
that's a good tip. Thanks.
All right. Who else wants to open up the mic? Let's see. You got
We got a few
10
more
more
minutes
minutes.
left. We kind of got a hard stop at 8 tonight, so
Yeah.
but we got a few more minutes left.
10 minutes left for this call.
Who else? Who else got something? Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? Nobody? Oh, it might be ending 10 minutes early.
Yeah.
So
Have you been playing around with Mantis, Pat?
Manus?
Mike? Yeah.
A little bit. I need to jump in there a little bit more and kind
I'll
of
tell
get
you what, that thing is a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Mike's been using it
Mike's
like crazy.
Mike's been
It's
cranking out
Yeah, the
content like
thing's
crazy.
crazy.
it's crazy. The first time I ever used it, I put something in there and I asked for it to do something and it spits out like 2,100 pages. I was like, what the heck's going on? I had to throttle it back, and then you start burning through credits, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
the first 40 credits or whatever, you burn through that in like a half an hour, and then suddenly you're into $200 a month, and then it goes beyond that if you start getting crazy.
I mean, probably the biggest, I mean, it can do, one thing that I really like about it, of course, it can do lot of complex and multi-step things. So like part of how we came up with our new website was that we went out and we had Mantis do all the research. So we gave it, here's, the top SaaS websites for design. Here's, the top competitors that are high level white labels. And then we want you to come up with a design and launch a preview site of a light mode and a dark mode so that we can decide. And so it went out and did all the research, scraped the websites, came up with the design that was pretty damn slick. We ended up going with the dark, but then we were like, okay, so now let's look at, content between our website and the top SaaS companies within HighLevel. And as far as like features and things that they have within their website, so we gave it their site maps and URLs, and it went out and did all the research, and gave like, here's what you have, here's your advantages, here's the disadvantages, and then we had it go out and scrape HubSpot, Zoho. I mean, all it's just insane how much data and research it will do. And the nice thing is you can walk away from it.
Yeah.
That's probably the biggest thing is that if it runs into an issue, it will try to solve it on its own and work through that issue. Sometimes it can't, but if you've got the mobile app, you just get a push notification. Yeah, go ahead and start on a new server or whatever, transfer the knowledge over and start over again. It's just being able to get up and walk away and just let it work. Oh my gosh. That's because some of the stuff, depending on what you're having it do, it can take a hell of a
Oh yeah.
long time.
I gave it I had it help me develop a heat map lead magnet for HighLevel, and
Yeah.
using all the Google APIs and everything, and it kind of went off the rails a little bit. Like I gave it some code that I already gave it all the entire process. Like here's the flow, the exact flow that I need to follow, and then here's what I've got done so far. And it went off and started trying to do something about like being able to pull up company information off LinkedIn. I'm like, no, nope, nope, stop what you're doing. Stay only Google APIs. That's all we're doing. It's like, oh, okay, sorry. And it redirected itself. And then, like, the next day, looked up and there's a full on web app sitting there. So,
Yeah. And I ended up turning on to where it confirms and asks clarifying questions.
yeah.
Because I noticed it was doing that as well. However, since I turned that on, I haven't had that problem. I'll put in whatever I want. It'll create its to-do list. And then it'll ask some clarifying questions. And then from that point, it pretty much does whatever, but it hasn't run off the rails like what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well,
So,
once I told it to get back on track, it did and did what it was supposed to do. So
Just the fact
Yeah.
that, I mean, if you're generating content, I mean, it doesn't matter if you want it in a markdown, if you want it in a live website, HTML, you want it to create a PDF. I mean, it'll do whatever the hell you want it to. Just
So
about.
did it just generate like a static site for you?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we just had it. Its design was based on the homepage, a very basic, slimmed down version of the homepage, just so get an idea visually what it might look and feel like. And it put a button up in the upper right hand corner for Larton to switch between light and dark mode. I was like, man, that's kind of nice.
Yeah,
So,
one other thing I do
you
too,
know,
Charles,
it's
is
just,
one other thing I do too, Charles, is like if you want something to match a color scheme, you could just shoot a screenshot of something that you like and
yeah,
just say match this color scheme, and it matches it.
yeah. And well, so in this case, we're taking all those top SaaS websites like ClickUp and, you know, all apple.com. And, you know, I mean, we're taking like some of the sexiest websites out there, especially for SaaS companies, and saying, okay, take all the design inspirations and then come up with a design. But it broke out when we asked it for an implementation guide for Elementor in WordPress. It provided everything, bleeds, shadows, like everything. And so that way we could go into Elementor, set everything up in settings, set all the default templates, and then from that point on, it's just drag and drop, and it's all the same exact style. It's crazy how much it it even did spacing, font breaks, like it laid everything out. I was thoroughly impressed. So was my web designer. He's like, this is probably going to be the easiest and largest website I've ever done. I was like, well, there you go. So, but it
Nice.
ended up writing all the content. So we had it write all the content for every page. Once we got it all done, got our site map, and everything, it went back and wrote all the content for all the pages. And then we just have to insert our videos and images and stuff. But reading through the pages, I mean, it's spot on. So it was
Very
good.
cool. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, when I was screwing around with it too, Charles, they gave me that codepen.io, which you could just kind of plug in the code and just like kind of take a look and see what it was looking like. And the other thing that it was really good at too, if any of you guys have been like looking at, because all of a sudden I got this directory, you know, and like I was sitting here and this was like a I don't know, it's a 5-star, you know, like service directory for our gated community of all of like the recommended plumbers, HVAC, pool guys, whatever it is for your house, right? Well, this is like a nationwide directory. So I went out and I was like, okay, I'm going to pull this whole directory. Like it pulled the whole directory down. Just so that you know, I mean, yeah. So and then it like parsed it all out so you could like sit there. And so if you find a directory, you don't have to like, I mean, I know that there are tools and services that are out there, but I had that just running in the background while I was doing other things like, you know, looking at design sort of things like what Charles was discussing. But it's just ridiculous like what you can do with it. And for the price too, it's like nominal.
Yeah.
You know, because
I
I
mean,
was go ahead.
that's what we say with AI now. It's crazy. Like the things you can do, it's unreal. So many things you
I
can
was
do.
using Bardeen.ai, which was really cool, you know, but man, like I can get the same kind of thing out of Manus. And I've got 2 seats on it, so I just vacillate back and forth. When it first came out, like I like was one of the first ones I'm like, I don't know how I got to be that damn lucky, but whatever, I'll just get 2 just in case. But
All right. That was a good end, I guess, with that top of the hour.
Yep. Got a
Happy
cruise,
scraping.
guys. Yep. Chat everybody later. We'll see
See
everybody
you
next
guys
week.
Bye.
next week. See